We can find 4K recording resolutions with dash cameras more and more often this year. Thing is that usually that's expensive. But Blueskysea are here with their newest model to prove that you can have a great car DVR with all the right features for not that much. Let's inspect! Welcome, Tech4O channel, I'm Michael, and it's been a long time since my last review of a dash camera. I finally got my hands on something really interesting, not only because it's equipped with front and rear unit and Wi-Fi, but also it seems to use a not so popular chipset from Novatech, which could eventually make its way onto action cameras. So in this video, the usual big amount of footage, comparison to another 4K dashcam, and lots of info about both the hardware and the software of the qualities of the latest dashcam from Blueskysea. We look at the price first. It's often the decisive factor about such purchases, and it's a pretty good one. At most places you can buy the whole combo, including the front and the rear unit and most of the cables and all the rest, at only $130. With an extra hardware kit, you're gonna pay about $10 more. This is extremely competitive, especially mentioning the W4K module, placed at $250, and my favorite black view device, which I use as a primary dashcam and costs above $400. This nice price is one of the factors that impressed me the most about the W4K, because it offers all the right features at a price which is typical for decent 1080p modules. And the footage so far looks promising, so let's keep on testing in order to find out whether there's a catch. Unboxing. Overall the experience is good. I wish the box had some sort of branding, but I'm used to the lack of such when it comes to dashcams. This is the combo containing the front and the rear unit, and no hardwire kit. Difference is related to the parking surveillance. Using the regular power source coming from the car's cigar charger is going to guarantee recording for as long as the engine is on and you're driving. Should you prefer parking surveillance, the hardwire kit comes handy because you connect straight to the fuse box. Often these systems have protection against draining the car's battery and are quite reliable, but may require someone to help you with the installation. You can see the components included. I find the usage of mini USB a little weird, especially now in 2020, but that doesn't matter since it's not a cable you're going to need or use for anything but the dashcam. Pretty dope mount, magnet-based, and that's great because detaching from the car is extremely easy, and that's a helpful feature. Well done, and the fact that it's designed to keep the dashcam close to the windshield all the time means that reflections from it will be minimal. The rear unit is designed to be mounted outside the car, preferably around the plate, and is of course waterproof. A little bigger than the usual body because they had to fit good sensor and optics. Not too big though, and not too small. Another interesting feature, if you look into the front unit, that's the display, which has very weird aspect ratio. It's super wide, but that's fine. You're going to see in a moment that it's better for the menus and doesn't really disturb the visibility because it crops the parts that you don't really need to watch at, namely, that's the car front end cover and the sky. Also, a bunch of good buttons at the bottom to guide you through the menus. If you're fans of tech specs, then you're as curious as I was. So here we go. Image sensor for the main unit, Galaxy Core 4653. According to Blueskysea, 5 megapixels. According to my research, more like a 4 megapixel sensor. Rear one is the GC2053 by the same company. Lens setup with 1x1.6 aperture. The chipset is by Novatech 96670, which is primarily used for video surveillance systems. We also find GPS, Wi-Fi, ADAS, gravity sensor, motion detection, and supercapacitor. If we assess the qualities of the dashcam by the last few features only, I was about to say that this is the best value pack that you can ever find, but advertised as 4K, it's supposed to have an image sensor with at least 8 megapixels capacity. So we're around 2 to 5 megapixels short on that, and I couldn't believe that Blueskysea have done it. Don't get me wrong, I've been stating multiple times in my reviews that having high-dense, small sensors are a worse choice than using the same sensor service for less megapixels because this transforms into better low-light performance. But it's not fair to use such sales tactics in 2020. Yes, now 4K is a thing with dashcams, however this 4K here is interpolated, meaning that the camera records in reality as a 4 or 5 megapixel camera, then upscales on a software level to 8 megapixels or 9 megapixels, which is software interpolation, And these few extra megapixels don't represent any image content. Therefore, choosing the QHD option for recording or even the Full HD options should be good enough. On top of that, the lack of H.265 encoding means that it makes better sense to use smaller resolution in order to keep the file size smaller. For most dashcams, recording in Full HD is good enough these days, and with maximum size of 256GB micro SD cards, this will be a lot of data. If you record from both the front and the rear, it's expected that you cover 135 degrees angle on the front and another 145 degrees on the rear, which are rather good values. Installation is super easy. Get the screen folio, a brilliant idea to easily detach the camera if you decide to stick it on another place or vehicle, and I promise it will never fall down. Make sure to choose a place at the opposite to the driver's seat so that you get better view line of sight. Then put the dashcam adjust, done! After that you have to wire and connect the rear unit. Luckily, it's being powered by the front unit, so there's no extra wiring needed, and Blueskysea are saying quite good things about the cable shield. The menus. They're controlled by the buttons. That makes them easily accessible. Sensing with fingers is often a better choice than a touchscreen, at least in my opinion. Therefore, it's much easier to switch between front and rear camera or take a picture while we're driving. Inside the menus, there are a lot of configurable parameters. The recording resolution is adjustable for the front module between 1080p, 2.7K and 4K, which again is in my opinion a waste of space, at least with the W4K. You can fine-tune a lot of other parameters. Quite interesting is the ADAS feature, Advanced Driver Assistance Systems. When factory integrated, they're often connected to the car's computer and can do a lot more. Over here, it's mostly about warnings regarding the car's behavior in front of you, lane departures or speed limits. These announcements about the speed limits are, as far as I understand, disabled with the latest firmware because won't work well in the United States. Not bad to have them, but feels more like a marketing thing. Make sure to trust more your own eyes and senses while you're driving. By the way, most of the features you can configure from the smartphone app as well. You can also download some of the recordings, but it's usually much faster to do that the old-fashioned way. Take the microSD card out, just copy the files onto a PC. The GPS is embedded in the front unit, very accurate and locks position within seconds. Most of the other features worked well, except the option to rotate the rear module. I guess this will soon appear as a firmware update too, and that's the reason you're seeing the date and time upside down on the footage. Speaking of which, it's over-sharpened, as we're used to see it from most dashcams. Quite good amount of details, and here's a comparison. Side by side with one of my favorite dashcams, which costs almost 3 times more. What do you think about the quality comparison? Let me know of your opinion in the comments below. I think the picture tuning is pretty nice, good colors, good contrast, well exposed concerning the daytime examples. Should we talk about low light performance? This is where I can see some drawbacks. Your first impression is that it's great, low noise levels, good light, contrasty, but looks like when driving at speeds above 40 km per hour, the license plates are not readable, which at the end of the day is the dashcam's primary task. So, at the end, I'm a little disappointed. While undeniably the daytime footage is superb, one of the best you can get at this price range, the low light performance seems to be not up to par with the expectations, and sadly, the Blueskysea W4K is not a true 4K dashcam because it interpolates the sensor data and upscales it. When we mix this with the missing H.265 encoding, it makes me think that Blueskysea could have done a better job with this dashcam. Certainly a good device, but not great, and if we're getting tricked about something so important like the supported resolution, who knows which might be the next thing which is not quite right with it. So let me know what you guys think of this new dashcam and feel free to ask me anything about it in the comments below. If you liked it and you want to get your own unit, or you enjoyed seeing some of the other tech gear shown in the video, check the description for a link to all of that. This concludes today's episode, and I hope you've enjoyed it and learned something new. If that's so, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel for more tech inspections. I'm Michael and can't wait to see you in the next episode, because a lot of awesome gadgets are on the pipeline. Take good care, drive safely, and enjoy your day. Bye!